Hey guys, I'm back with part 2 of my trip down to Texas for the RAD event. If you missed part 1, I'll link to it below. Seriously, check it out. We spent the day geeking out in a garage full of BMX bikes with legends like Eddie Fiola, Hollywood Mike Miranda, and Kevin Sheepdog Hull. It was one of my favorite videos so far, and I think you'll love it too. But today we're diving into day 2, the main event, and this was a ticketed event put on by Michael Hawes, the owner of Darkside Brick Oven Pizza in Boerne, Texas. And Michael's a huge fan of 80s nostalgia, and his restaurant is a love letter to the era. Inside you'll find displays from all kinds of classic 80s movies, toys, and even a few retro video games. There's a small section dedicated to RAD with some replica bikes. Stay tuned because later in this video I'll share some footage from my walkthrough of the restaurant. You're gonna love it. To make this event happen, Michael teamed up with Sean from Rad BMX Builds, and together they brought some absolute legends to town. This event gave ticket holders access to meet the stars and to take home a signed event poster. And not just any stars, we're talking Bill Allen, Cru Jones himself, Eddie Fiola, the King of Skateparks, Mike Hollywood Miranda, famous for his dramatic exits on Helltrack, and now Sean's Garage.
Oh, my third dramatic exit.
Yeah. And Kevin Sheepdog Hull. I mean, come on, this was about as rad as it gets. It was another amazing day, and I'm excited to share it with you. Let's jump in. So the event officially started at 1 p.m., but the crew got there around 11 a.m. to set up all the merch tables and displays. There were about 200 people lined up outside before the doors opened, and it felt like a red carpet event as fans came in to meet the stars and take photos. The vibe was electric. And one thing I love about these guys, Bill, Eddie, Mike, and Kevin, is how down to earth they are. They took their time with everyone, making each fan feel special. You could see it in people's faces as they came through the line. That's just how class acts operate. After I made my way through the line, I spent most of the afternoon hanging out with Sean, Justin from BMX Basement, and Sean's buddy Josh, who flew in all the way from Virginia. And I had already met Sean at the BMX Hall of Fame event earlier this year, but this was my first time meeting Justin in person after chatting online for a while. And it's always cool when people you connect with online turn out to be just as awesome in real life. We spent the day geeking out over BMX builds, telling stories, cracking jokes, and hanging out with the stars. It wasn't just about the bikes on display, though there were plenty of those. It was about the people. We met new friends, we caught up with familiar faces, and just soaked in the vibe of being around people who get it. If you've ever been to an event like this, you know exactly what I mean. There's something about being surrounded by people who share the same passion. It's like instant family, and honestly, it felt less like an event and more like a giant hangout with 200 of the coolest people on earth. Okay, before we move on to the rad stuff, I gotta show you more of the inside of the Darkside Brick Oven Pizza. This place is 80s nostalgia heaven. They've got movie displays, vintage toys, and so many little nods to classic 80s pop culture. You could spend hours just looking at all the details, but here's a quick look inside. Now let's talk about the merch. The tables were packed with some awesome stuff. Sean partnered with Flight BMX to offer exclusive Rad BMX Builds pad sets, as well as the Cru Jones pad sets and different number plates. I'll link to those below if you're interested. Kevin Hull had stacks of 8x10 photos from Rad that he was selling as a set. I think he's still selling those online, so if you're interested, I'll drop a link below. Bill Allen had a whole table of Rad merch, including his autobiography, Rad shirts, and a bunch of other cool collectibles. And if you're looking to pick up some of his gear, I'll drop a link to his website below. Definitely worth checking out if you're a Rad fan. Then there's the Rad Designs 1986 table. If you don't know about them, it's Mindy, Kid, and Jason, and they're absolutely crushing it with BMX-inspired merch. We're talking shirts, hats, prints, stickers, you name it. Mindy's designs are next level, and you can tell by how packed their table was all day long. Everyone was stopping by to snag something. I'll link to their site below so that you can check out their collection too. Trust me, you'll want to see what they've got going on. Bill Allen was signing autographs at his merch table near the front entrance. Kevin Hull and Eddie Fiola were hanging out in the parking lot, chatting and signing for fans. And then a little further back, Mike Miranda was posted up at See the Bike Man's table. Speaking of See the Bike Man, if you're not following Charles on Instagram, you should be. He's always posting cool bike content. And then right next to him was Wes, also known as Mr. Dice Guy, who makes custom dice valve caps. And those things are beyond cool. I'll drop a link to both of their accounts below so that you can check them out. This wasn't a traditional bike show with trophies or categories, but people brought plenty of bikes to display and get autographed. And of course, Sean brought a bunch of his custom builds, so there were plenty of eye-catching bikes to check out. One of the highlights of the day was the giveaway. Mongoose donated a Super Goose reissue along with a set of Moto Mags, and this was the grand prize for the day. They also had a few other giveaways like signed number plates and some other cool stuff. This next section shows the giveaways as well as a few stories and moments from the Rad crew themselves. I'll let this part roll on for a bit so you can experience it like we did.
I would like to say thank you to each and every single one of you for being here to this, what will absolutely be our first annual Rad event. Since we're talking about Hollywood, Mr. Mike Hollywood Miranda, let's give it up for Michael. And also we got Kevin the Sheepdog Hole. Yes. And everybody knows the King, Eddie Fiola. And also can't forget Mr. Bill Cru Jones Allen. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you. I would like to say to Sean, Rad BMX Builds, where you at, Sean?
Yeah, Sean!
Where you at? He's behind the camera. He cares more about content than coming out here. All right, there we go. So, but Sean, on behalf of everybody, thank you so very much. On behalf of
Thank you, Sean! Yeah!
And also, Mindy.
Like and subscribe.
Mindy, and your crew. Rad 86.
Rad Designs.
Rad Designs.
1986.
1986. She has kept this whole thing together from the beginning. Thank you so much, Mindy. Thank you. Here we go. For second place, getting a 33 plate with the signed autographs, Taj Reynolds. Do we have a Reynolds here? And by the way, you have to be here to win. Do we have a Reynolds?
Is it one of the Reynolds twins?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
So from Rad Designs 1986, we're going to be donating a script. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
So this script, what you guys don't realize is that this is everything that we filmed. Everything inside the script we filmed, but not everything that we filmed showed up on film. So a lot of the stuff got cut and didn't turn out. One of the things is that when Bart comes into the restaurant, well, in the script it shows that he's drunk, and so it didn't work out. So they cut that from the script. Another thing that they had was Lori actually doing a backflip and showing crew how to do it, and that got cut out either. Also, the way we tried to film that is we put Lori on a bike, and the bike was on like a spigot, right? So a barbecue type thing, and she got strapped in, and we spun the bike, and the camera came in, and it didn't look good at all. So they got rid of that. But it's all, we're gonna sign this script. There's a bag, backpack, some stickers. So this next number, who's gonna say it? I can't
Where's
say it
Hollywood?
because I'm
Where's
just-
Hollywood? Come here, Hollywood. All right, from
1 to 167.
1 to 167.
Don't take my number.
This is rad, so it's number 33, right?
Yeah.
Mr. John English. Man. John English, there we go. Congratulations, John. That's awesome. They got it right there. Look at that time. Okay, before we do the bicycle giveaway, I would like to do a shout out to Team Mongoose for donating the bike to us. It wouldn't happen if it wasn't for Mongoose. Thank you, Mr. Team Mongoose.
Guys, here's my 20 bucks. Just real quick, thanks for having me out. This is my home state. I'm a Texan. It made me feel very, very welcome. And on behalf of everybody that you brought out, you know, Lori was going to be here today, but she couldn't find an ankle monitor to match. Thanks for Michael again for bringing us out. Can I have a round of applause for everybody? The number of the day is 132. You win a bike! Oh my God. Can you come around to the other side?
Okay, I got it. Bree, thank you so very much.
You need a yellow outfit now.
I do. I'm gonna go buy a yellow outfit.
So, can you tell us a little bit how you got the role of Cru Jones in Rad?
Well, I became an actor in the early 80s and ended up in Los Angeles and was discovered on a TV show called Hill Street Blues. And the great Hal Needham saw me on that and brought me in. And I literally sat on a mongoose bike, said a few lines, and here I am 38 years later talking to you guys. I don't remember anything in between.
That's awesome. Now, where's Eddie? Because I got to talk to Eddie.
Behind you.
Okay.
Little guy over here.
And you say close. Come here, little dude. There's just something about you, man. I don't know what it is. I want to ask you a couple of questions, actually. Okay?
I got a couple of answers.
I'm sure you do. So, can you tell us a little bit about how you got how can we say it's a role, or how you cameoed in the film, and a little bit about the background on how you. First off, you played a couple roles in Rad. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So what had happened in the very beginning, I was sponsored by GT. I was in the magazine a lot. I'm on top. I'm winning contests. I'm doing things. These producers and directors came to my house, or actually came to the skate park. They wanted to find out who was on top, and so they came to me and they asked me a couple questions. And they came to my house. They asked me about my home life and who I was and what I did. And my dad had passed away early on, and all I did was want to ride bikes. I didn't go to college. I just wanted to ride. I didn't want to go to school or do anything like that, but I was on top. So months later, they came back to me and they said, hey, we made this movie, and we want you to do the stunts in the movie. And I said, yeah, sure, that's great. So that's as far as I knew what was going on. I didn't know that they wrote some of the stuff about my life in the movie Rad. But it's pretty much based off of what I did. And I just rode my bike and I had fun. And I was just this little kid riding a bike in Long Beach, California. And I got noticed somehow, and here I am today.
So how many roles did you play? Did you play different characters in Rad?
So in the movie Rad, not only did I have an acting double, Phil Allen, but I also doubled his best friend, Jamie, and I also doubled Lori in a couple of the scenes. So there's a question way back there.
Okay, before we get to the question, so he said he doubled Lori. So what I want to know is, Bill and Eddie, was there any kissing scenes? Or,
What?
He said he dealt with Lori. I mean, oh yeah, what was it like?
G-rated. Yeah.
Let's just say you look good in that wig. I wasn't always around on set, so I think, don't make me a bad person. It's
Y'all see how he looks a little nervous right now. That's awesome.
Legally, I can say I got into her pants. I'm not. I can say I got.
Firefighter said.
Right? Yeah.
Well, I got Kevin over here. Kevin, walk over here, Sheepdog. Tell us a little bit how you got started.
So I don't know, most of you probably don't know, I grew up in South Austin, so. Yeah, Texan. Actually born in Jersey, but still.
What?
Yeah, get around. So anyways, I started racing in the late 70s and then got hooked up with a local team who was then hooked up with GT bikes. So I started riding the GT brand. Got in the support team 1 year, full factory the next year, and then in '84 I became a full factory rider, and I rode for a full factory for 4 years. So traveled the country, traveled the world, racing and stuff for them, promoting their product. And in '85 I just come back from the NDL Grands in Louisville, Kentucky, back to GT, and Rich Long had me come in his office. He was one of the owners. And along with Gary Turner, and he asked me if I wanted to go to Canada to do this movie thing. I'm like, sure, you're paying for it, but yeah, I'll go anywhere. And so I flew home to Texas for a week. Sorry, there we go. Is that better? Yeah. Flew home to Texas for a week and came back out to LA, and then me and Martin Apparejo drove the GT van and trailer that's in the parade scene from LA to Calgary to have that up there. So that's kind of how I got hooked up with the movie and everything. And so, and funny enough, just in talking with Michael yesterday about some of the things that I had a paper route for 5 years as a kid, from 13 to 18. Cops were always chasing me around South Austin, some of my name. And yeah, it was always fun messing with them, but that's just kind of what I did. And, even if I wasn't in trouble, I made myself look in trouble one time and had a cop chase me down. And, well, he never caught me until later when I was with a friend who was slower and I couldn't leave behind. So they kind of converged on me and us and, gave us a hard time and nothing they could do. So yeah, so that's just, and just the whole racing world and everything. And, yeah, so it was a good time up there.
Thank you. Talking about dress codes and you were talking about dress codes and
Martin made it.
Can you come in here? Okay, we won't go there,
Martin's
right?
here.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about your role in RAD and your background story and how you got the role.
All right, I'll tell you about this right now. I was a professional racer, not a freestyler, but I always had the most respect for these guys that could do all the tricks on their bikes. They were, and still are, my heroes. And I've always looked up to them. And I tried my hand at being a freestyler a little bit, riding ramps. And I realized I better stick to racing. So I was, and I was racing all over the world, and my sponsor at the time, Hutch BMX, had booked me on a trip to go to South Africa to promote BMX. Because that's what I would do every off season. I would travel the world to promote the sport. So I'm scheduled to go to South Africa, and somebody calls me and says, hey, you want to be in a movie? And I said, well, they call me Hollywood for a reason. So I said, hell yeah, I want to be in a movie. So I called Hutch, and I kid you not, this is what Hutch had to say. It's insane to think about now. Hutch said, oh man, you gotta go to Africa where we can sell some bikes. If you go do a movie, a year from now, no one will know about it. Here we are in Texas. How many years?
38.
Oh my gosh. This is where we're here. Because like yourselves, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Bill, I'm a fan of Eddie, I'm sure a fan of the Sheepdog, and a fan of the movie Rad. And the biggest part is I'm a fan of BMX to this day. As you guys are too. You're all family to me now. Thanks for letting me have this moment. It was great.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you guys. Well, everybody, if you guys haven't got your autographs, we're still in line. You'll stay in line. They're going to finish you guys up. But once again, thank you guys for making this such an awesome event. Rad Day. Thank you guys so very much. Thank you.
After the giveaways, the event officially wrapped up around 6 p.m., but we stayed to help pack up the tables, load bikes, and then hang out for a bit. We eventually headed across the street from the hotel to grab dinner and just kept the conversation going. It was one of those nights where you didn't want it to end. We shared so many stories, laughed a ton, and I learned a lot about BMX racing history from these guys. The next morning, we met for breakfast in the hotel lobby before saying our goodbyes, and Sean and Justin took me back to the garage for one last hangout before dropping me off at the airport. All right, so what you got in the box?
Signed frames, posters, t-shirt. Don't tell anybody where I'm sending it. Yeah.
Intercepted on the way home.
Box of BMX good times from this weekend, for sure.
All right, guys, we just had the most amazing weekend here. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and now it's Monday morning. So we had the big rad event at the pizza place yesterday, and it was amazing. And then we're kind of wrapping up here. But I don't know, what do you guys, what were your kind of feelings from the weekend? For me, I'd say this is probably, as a BMX fan, one of the best weekends I've ever had. It was so much fun.
I think the outcome was more than I expected. So I'm very thankful for all the people that participated and supported the event. The second thing is I'm exhausted.
I bet, yeah.
So after this weekend, I'm probably going to take the rest of the week and sleep it off.
So it might be a little low on content on
right.
for a few days. Yeah, it was,
exactly.
You guys, I mean, I know that you didn't do everything, but you did a lot of the coordinating and just a lot of just kind of behind the scenes of making things happen. And so thank you so much for all that you've done for the community. I mean, sounds like we're going to do this again next year.
Maybe.
All right.
I think we're putting the cart in front of the horse. We hope to. This was our first time, so it's the inaugural one. And I think it was more successful than we thought it would be being the first one. So everything would point in that direction, but I don't want to put myself in a corner and make a promise.
This is the date.
And 364 days from now, something could happen. So who knows? But we are planning something in 2025. And if it becomes an event, I will definitely let people know and let you know and let you know and let you know. And so it will be advertised in plenty of time for people to come to.
Right on. Yeah, definitely. This was a good one for sure. So guys, pay attention because you don't want to miss out.
Yeah.
Justin, how about you? Do you have any highlights or any?
For me, it was really meeting you guys in person, hanging out, really just kind of mingling. I missed out on a lot of content opportunity also. I was really living in the moment because it was just it was
there
wild.
were some epic moments to get caught up in.
Michael at Darkside Pizza for hosting, everybody that came out. We just had a really great time. I mean, it was definitely a rad event, and I look forward to doing it again.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just phenomenal for sure.
Right.
Yeah, I want to say thank you to Matt and thank you to Justin for coming out here and all the other people that traveled so far to come to this. That's really what blew my mind. And I just thought I'd have some local people show up, and we had people from Maine, we had people from Virginia, St. Louis, all over the place that flew in to come to this from both sides of the country. And I think the good thing of having it in Texas, we're kind of in the middle, so there's really no excuse for you not to come when you got people from Maine flying in to come to this. So hopefully next year if we have this, we see you at it.
Looks like you might be getting a bike delivered or something, maybe?
Maybe.
Live.
Yeah, live. Oh, Amazon.
It's definitely not a bike if it's Amazon. It never ends. Everyday deliveries here, so I will let you finish up and go do that.
Sure, yeah. I don't know what else to say, but
it was.
Dudes, this was an awesome weekend. Thank you for hanging out with us. I don't know, it's amazing. So thank you, Justin.
Thank you very
much.
much.
BMX Basement. Go follow him if you haven't already. Got some really great content.
Follow Rad BMX Builds.
Yeah, Rad BMX Builds. Buy your merch at radbmxbuilds.com. Someone just won this bike yesterday.
Yeah.
And Sean is, let me get the camera, but Sean will be shipping out this beautiful Mongoose FS1 1986 replica. And it is a beautiful bike. He's got some customizations on it, so it's not like it fresh out of the box. It's got its own Rad BMX spin on it. So
Could have been yours.
Yep, could have been yours. Maybe next time it will be yours.
Gotta buy merch.
Yep. Right on, guys. Thanks for watching another one, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your favorite rad memories in the comments below. And like Sean says on his channel, stay rad.